It's always amazed me how an album that's, well, practically only 5 songs, how it could just feel like such an odyssey. Uh, Slint Spiderland is a very dark and twisted album, but that doesn't really have any concept to it. I guess the album starts with the vocalist going to a carnival, then talks about his life as Dracula. But I've always felt like since Spiderland is most fitting for the life of a depressed teenager. And, you know, perhaps I might have that bias because I bought this album back when, I guess we all kind of went through that, or at least we're all going to go through that awkward life of um, being a teenager. And was something, Spiderland was something that I could really relate to, I guess, in that period of my life. Had these really quiet and depressing moments that made you feel really alone and very confused and paranoid of what was gonna come next in life. And then you have these really loud moments that just make you want to scream out in anger, fuck the world or whatever, just to get all the tension that you have bundled into your body. Um, so yeah, despite what Slint was trying to get at, um, I always felt that there was a lot of teen angst in this album. Perhaps because they wrote this album when they were so young. Perhaps that may have been a little what they're trying to convey, but I don't know. There's nothing really in the lyrics that kind of hint at that. So that's a big reason why I like this album. For this review, I thought I'd go just song by song, talk about each one a little bit because it's only 6 songs. I won't go too long. Um, but it's probably really good of me to note, people who haven't listened to this album, that since Spiderland is it's a bit unusual in the way that they present their lyrics, and it's presented in a spoken word fashion. And yeah, they're not the first band to do it, and I know it's kind of this is one of the things for people where they either hate the album because of this, or they just feel like they wouldn't want the album to be any other way unless it was done in spoken word, and I really wouldn't like it any other way. Um, I think it's probably the greatest part of this album, and it's because of how gripping and real it feels, um, and how it feels like you're getting pulled into the album, and the guy's vocalist feels like you're in the same room with them, and that he's at the same time he's trying to explain this story to you, and the way they just fitted the vocals into the instrumentals, they just did a perfect word of sinking them in, and putting and timing everything to the best of their ability to kind of bring out the most emotion out of the songs. I mean, they call it math rock for a reason. So let's get to the songs in this album. The album starts out with a real banger with Breadcrumb Trail. It's it's just, the beginning of the song. The vocalist is explaining, kind of setting the stage. This carnival is going to, his tentacles kind of hanging up everywhere. He meets this fortune teller and goes into a roller coaster ride, and well, he goes onto this roller coaster ride with her a little over 1 minute through the song. You hear this screaming guitar moment, and it just feels like you're getting tossed up way into the air and then just brought back down. It does a great job of imitating what being what it's like to be on a roller coaster. So, heck of a way to to enter Spiderland. Um, Next song, Nosferatu. If you've never heard of Nosferatu before, it's named after an old German silent movie, and it's pretty much the story of Dracula, essentially. No different. I think they're just too lazy to buy the copyright or whatever. But the Slint does a really good job of making the song feel as sinister as the characters in the movie, and making the song really uh, quite aggressive with a lot of chord progressions throughout the song. It's really neat. But now you're already past song 2 and practically almost halfway through the album. This is where the album takes quite a change. It goes into these really depressing, quiet songs where the main vocalist sounds all quite full of madness, I guess. The first one is Don Am of these type of songs. It's a song that only consists of two instruments and the vocalist, but just because it's very minimal, it doesn't take away from how emotional it feels. Uh, Next song, I've always felt like people have kind of dismissed this song, um, but I really think that Washer's perhaps the greatest song on this album. It's kind of a toss-up between, well, if you listen to this, what song I'm talking about. Well, that's a toss-up between, but despite the vocalist sounding like Kermit at the beginning of the song, this is probably the most gripping and tear-jerking song I've ever heard. And it's really because of how the vocalist delivers in this song. He really comes out as a very desperate, crazed, and alone person, and I think that's what makes this song great. It ends with a hurricane of sound, which makes it all the better. But I really give props to lead vocalist on this one. Up next, we got For Dinner, a song that's kind of an uneventful instrumental, but anyone who's listened to this album before, it's just preparing you for what's about to happen next. Good Morning Captain, the song that everybody loves and talks about when they hear the word Spiderland. It's perhaps the most epic song I've ever heard in my life. It's one of those songs that just build and build and build until when you think it's going to reach its climax, all the instruments just drop out and you hear this clicking sound of the guitar for about a minute or two. And it feels like the dust is settling on a battlefield. After that 2 minutes, everything just comes back in this song, all the instruments, and feels like a thunderstorm of noise. It's like, it's like orgasmic havoc in your ears. It's quite hectic, and it ends with the climax of lead vocalist singing the words, "I miss you," and it's just, you gotta sing it every time. It's just epic. So it's more epic than the way I explained it or yelled "I miss you." But hear it in the dropped X for yourself. That's Slint Spiderland for you. Kind of a sad story of the band. Like Neutral Milk Hotel, one of the members of the band just got too obsessed with creating those wonderful albums. As a result, we had Spiderland, but as another result, we had the death of another great band. So, well, I have the reunion tours and everything, but I haven't heard anything else from the band. No new material, no future plans of albums. You know, I'm torn, Slint. And you better make it up to me because I miss you. I miss you, Slint. Goodbye. I'm cool.